Welcome to another horrid, terrible, suicide-inducing episode of the apocalypse. Sorry, I'm just trying to set something up here to improve the sound, but of course, I should have done this before the camera got turned on. And I'm not in the mood either to be doing this right now, fucking with this stupid fucking thing. Never mind, I give up. Again, welcome to another wonderful fucking episode of the apocalypse. And since you have unwisely fucking chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. I happen to be that guide, your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to see you again. So I began the day off with, because Donnie spent the entire day basically reaching into his diaper, grabbing a bunch of shit, throwing it at the walls to see what would stick. So we start with this. Oh, I want to say something before I read this. I see a lot of comments online of people that are very, very well off. They've lucked out in life and they're okay. Great. I got no problem with that. They make statements, though, like they're mad at people that post Donnie's comments because they feel it's like promoting it or whatever for clicks and views, blah, blah, blah. No, the reason I read the comments, because this is the fucking Antichrist. This is world history. The world will never be the same after this. Do you understand? So we need to know a lot of what's being said, proposed, thought about, etc. And he's the president, so it matters what he says. So I don't agree or abide that philosophy. Let's never post what he says, blah, blah. He's the fucking president. We kind of have to look at what he says, whether we love him, hate him, whatever, right? Yes, class, we do. So I don't fault anyone for going through these because it's the president talking, or the dictator of your country, actually. So, again, I'm not on the team. Let's never show what Donnie says. Let's pretend he doesn't exist. Way too late for that, son. Way too fucking late. So, wow, time flies. Today's the 6-month anniversary of my second term. Importantly, it is being hailed as one of the most consequential periods of any president. In other words, we got a lot of good and great things done. No, they didn't. Including ending numerous wars of countries not related to us other than through trade and or in certain cases friendship. No, Donnie didn't end shit. He just wants the Nobel. 6 months is not a long time to have totally revived a major country. Well, the country seemed to be doing quite fine when Biden left. 1 year ago, our country was dead, with almost no hope of revival. Today, the U.S. is the hottest and most respected country anywhere in the world. Happy anniversary. And again, hottest with the quotation marks, as if it's not the hottest. Well, like, I guess he used him right, because it's not the hottest. A lot of people don't even want to come here. Our allies fucking despise us now, thanks to all the annexation and, 170% tariff talk. So that's where we're at. We're at the complete opposite of what Donnie is trying to portray here. No, we're not the hottest country. We are a fucking disaster right now. We're dictator central. We're authoritarian central now. And it's getting worse every day. Time flies, he says in the beginning. Yeah, I mean, do you remember the days when there was no concentration camps, no your own military on your streets, no guys in masks running around with machine guns kidnapping people at Home Depot? A lot, sure fucking changed since Donnie took over. And none of it's good. And I mean none of it. And what he's basically spent his time doing is fucking grifting, lying, cheating, and subjugating us. Again, you've got your own military on your streets. You've got new concentration camps opening up. You've got men with masks and machine guns running around kidnapping people. You've got the president talking about locking up the president from 2 presidents ago. We've got a president that every time the name Epstein comes up, he fucking throws a fit. Shit is fucked up. None of it's normal. So, when I reminisce with Donnie here, it doesn't look so good to me. Before Donnie looks a lot better than with Donnie. And again, just these comments he's putting out, just distractions from the Epstein thing. That's all that's on his mind. It's all it is on everyone's mind. Let's be honest here. This is just a random poster. Turns out we have a lot in common. We're going after Trump because of Trump's ties to Epstein. And you're going after Obama because of Trump's ties to Epstein. Yep. And my God, that's dangerous. I knew we would get here. I knew these people were Nazis. I remember the Nazi salute. That kind of told me what they are, what they really believe. So I figured, just like Hitler, they would have to arrest the liberals and their opposition in government and out in society, journalists, other people, dissidents. We're at the point where, again, Donnie, the criminal, the convicted felon, the legit criminal, wants to abolish Biden's pardons because of AutoPen. Meanwhile, Donnie's using AutoPen left and fucking right. So we must undo all of that as well, right, hypocrites? No. A president cannot sign every document by fucking hand. Get the fuck out of here with that. You think Donnie does that? Absolutely fucking not. Hypocrites. So he's trying to undo the pardons. Why? Why would you want to undo the pardons? So you can arrest people. That's why. That's the literal only reason you would want to do that. Now he's moved on to Obama. I've said this how many times? These people need to get the fuck out the country. The Clintons, the Obamas, Adam Schiff, etc. He's going to arrest you people. I know you don't believe it. You think you're above it or something. You think you're too powerful, something. This is the Antichrist, and I don't care if you believe that. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. He coming for you people. He's proving it now. Why do you think he keeps talking about it? Yeah, all of you should have got out the country months ago. But I literally knew this was going to happen. And we're here again at the point where he's posting 3-4 posts about putting Obama in prison, literally with the imagery to go with it. This motherfucker is a sociopath, again, with a God complex. And every time he gets in some hot water, he wants to put someone else in some hot water, even though they don't deserve it. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. Donnie started talking about the Washington, what are they called? Commanders or something? I can't remember. A sports team. They used to be the Redskins. The Washington whatevers should immediately change their name back to the Washington Redskins football team. There's a big clamoring for this. Likewise, the Cleveland Indians, one of the 6 original baseball teams with a storied past, are great Indian people. In massive numbers want this to happen. Does he realize those people don't even want to be called Indians? Donnie's just like, can't we get back to the 50s and 40s where we could just say the N word out loud in public? And, no one bats an eye. Can't we go back to that? That's what I liked. When my dad was going to Klan meetings and shit, I'm not joking, son. He got arrested at one. Likewise, the Cleveland Indians, one of the 6 original baseball teams with a storied past, our great Indian people in massive numbers want this to happen. Yeah, I'm sure the Native American population in this country, they're just clamoring for that. Yes, call us Indians again. We liked it. We liked it. Their heritage and prestige is systematically being taken away from them. No, the dumbass the word that the dumbass Europeans used to describe them, because I guess they got lost. They thought they were in India. Um, when we stop using that, no, nothing's being taken away from them. Actually, something's being given to them. They say they want to be called a certain thing. They don't like the word Indian. It's offensive to them. Okay, I get that. So we don't have to call them that anymore. It's not a big deal to me. I could fucking care less. Uh, but Donnie's acting like, by not calling them Indians anymore, we're taking their heritage away. Spoken like a true 1951 racist. My God. Times are different now than they were 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, you're under a Reich now. And, they called Zuckerberg in right at the beginning of the Reich, and they said, Stephen Miller told Zuck, we really need more of the N word on Facebook. It's not right wing and crazy enough. We needed to go further. My God, folks, again, 13 years ago, whatever, when I first got on Facebook, I was like, my God, this is a right wing hellscape full of every horrid conspiracy that you can think of. It was Vlad's playground, basically, is what I'm saying. So many idiots wasting their time on Vlad's talking points for America for fucking decades. We are a country of passion and common sense. Owners get it done. He's telling the owners to get that done. We really need those old offensive slur words to describe the Native Americans that were here before the Europeans got here. That's the time Donnie and the Reich and everyone's trying to get us back to. Actually, the real time Donnie's trying to get us back to is 1933. Germany, not America. My God. Again and again, just another distraction from Epstein. He's trying to talk about anything, start any kind of ruckus, so we're looking that way instead of looking the Epstein way. That's what's going on here. This is Tulsi Gabbard on Bartiromo on Fox News. Again, this is getting more serious with the Obama talk. Bartiromo, so we need to look at Pam Bondi to bring us accountability. Gabbard, Bondi, and Kash Patel. It is their responsibility to move forward with this prosecution and these indictments. Again, I always knew they would arrest liberals. They might not arrest Barack right now, but I have a feeling in the future they will. When they do the big sweep, just like Hitler did. That's what I expect. Us to wake up or late one night, they grab a bunch of them and just lock them up. You're in a Reich, son. That's what's going to happen. But to see it manifest and play out, it's kind of crazy. I'm presenting to you Tulsi Gabbard on Fox News saying that the FBI and the Attorney General need to pursue going after Barack Obama. This ain't going to a good place. Oh no. They threw Nutlick out on the shows today. What is this? Face the Nation, CBS News. Here's Nutlick in all his glory and all his weasel glory. Howard Nutlick says many amazing trade deals are coming in 2 weeks. The next 2 weeks are going to be weeks for the record books. How many times have we heard this since the Reich began 6 months ago, whatever it was? And how many times have we heard the 2 weeks lie for 10 years with these people? Donnie and his people. Everything's in 2 weeks. Everything's down the road. Leon likes to play that game too with his investors and the world. Everything's down the road. Promise everything, deliver nothing. Again, I'm so tired of hearing the 2 weeks lie with these people. No one came to the table for trade. Not one country was, written in granite, deal done. Not one. Mr. All-Powerful, Art of the Deal, Mein Kampf, Donnie Trump. Not one country came to the table. So Donnie just sent out letters. Now we got Nutlick on the news shows again saying, well, in 2 weeks we're going to get a lot of deals done. Because they got to respond to the letters, right? No, they don't. They could just wipe their ass with them, throw them in the toilet, and go trade with somebody else. That's what they can do. We're being isolated for some purpose. I don't know what the full purpose is, but it's not good. The visas with the $250 charge now to come into the country. They're isolating us for a reason. They don't want people to come here. I wonder why. It ain't nothing good. The New York Times printed this, the Trump Epstein bond parties, jets, and women. That was today, I believe they printed this shit. I'm surprised Donnie didn't go on a rant about the New York Times today. I guess he's too busy talking about Native Americans and shit. Trump is closing all 4 climate observatory stations in Alaska, Hawaii, American Samoa, and Antarctica. Because you can't have high CO2 levels if you don't measure CO2 levels. Well, that's with everything. They don't want us to know anything anymore. They don't want us to know how polluted the planet is, how much CO2. They don't want to know. They want us to know when a storm's coming. They don't want the country to know when, 200 people die in a flood. They don't want you to know when there's a food poisoning incident, listeria, whatever. They don't want you to know if a new pandemic is starting, because that ruined Donnie's groove last time. Are you starting to see a pattern here? First of all, every federal dollar belongs to Donnie. That's the way he looks at it. Every program he cancels, that's money in his pocket. That's one nuance to it. But there's another. You're being dismantled and looted, of course. Setting the stage for some real dangerous events to take place. Kind of like 150 people dying in a flood in Texas. Kind of like that. And the reason why that's a big deal, for weeks and weeks now, I've been seeing about 3, 4, or 5 major flooding videos across the world where cars are floating down the fucking street. Every video. It seems awful strange to me. It seems a bit much. The majority of the videos I was seeing were hail, and large hail, not pea size. And flooding. Like everywhere. And again, they're not little floods where nothing's harmed. Cars floating down the fucking street. I keep seeing in all these videos. Here's one video I posted the link to earlier. This is one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen. More than 200 people lost their lives in the Valencia flooding due to record-breaking extreme rainfall. You can hear people screaming in their cars. Yet the world moved on without a huge alarm or discussion. It's madness. Yeah, something's going on. Those are cars floating in water with fires going on around it too as well. And it's just one example of so many fucking videos. Mexico, India, China, Spain, just fucking everywhere. Here. I'm not used to seeing videos where, video after video where cars are floating down the fucking street. What does that mean? That means the water is encroaching to its final point. In other words, years and years ago, that water would never have encroached that far into major society. It would have stayed on the outskirts. It wouldn't have been that severe. Now these floods and rainstorms are dropping so much rain. They are causing major flood incidents to the point cars are floating down the fucking street. It's insane. It's out of hand. And yes, it's an anomaly. I'm going to give you the kind of breakdown for in a moment. Because I was wondering that myself for the past few weeks. Oh, is this normal? All this many floods, this many, 6 inches of rain in half an hour shit? No, it's not normal. It's an anomaly. Many factors, I'm sure. Oh, this is an old clip of Donnie. I assume it's a deposition for E. Jean, her case. Oh, there's a date on it. October 19, 2022. And he's sitting there like, pretending to be a good boy. And there's a female lawyer reading his statement on the, what was it, Hollywood Access bus, whatever the fuck it was. And and when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the you-know-what. You can do anything. There's a woman calmly reading this to Donnie as he's sitting there like, squirming, like he's a bad, I don't know, 6-year-old that did something wrong. And it's so fucking cringe and it's so embarrassing that thing that has to sit there and have that comment that he made that was on audio tape before he won the first presidency, by the way. You people heard this and still voted for him. My God. And he's just sitting there again like a boy that got called to the principal's office. It's so fucking cringe. And a lot of this stuff is popping back up. All the women that accused him of sexual assault, people that dated Epstein, people that were around him and Epstein together. I mean, it's just thing after thing, but I've seen it all over the years. None of it's new except for a few of the women are saying something new. And holy shit, I just can't believe this monstrosity is our fucking president. I can't believe he's the end of America. The grab him by the you-know-what guy. He's the end of America. And it's guaranteed, son. It's never coming back. I'm sorry. On the other side of wherever this fucking goes, it's going to be a whole new thing. And America might be in ruins at the end of it, honestly. Here's Gabbard on Bartiromo again. Do you expect indictments and prosecutions? Gabbard, in my view, yes. We have evidence to be able to move forward to prosecute and indict those responsible. Bartiromo, I want to put a spotlight on those responsible. Barack Obama, John Brennan, James Clapper. So she's saying the names out loud. She wants the rubes to know the names and forget about Epstein. That's why this conversation is going on. That's why Bartiromo is naming names. She wants you looking at the squirrels and not the Epstein guy that you voted for. That's what these people are doing. And you're paying Gabbard's salary to do it, by the way, the Russian asset Gabbard. Bartiromo is at least being paid by Fox. To openly endorse going after people that have not committed crimes. That's what she's collecting a paycheck for. And she knows it. Both of them sitting there understand why they're sitting there saying what they're saying. They're not stupid. They both understand, as well as the rest of us out here that aren't, 87-year-old geriatrics that only watch Fox. They both know they're sitting there because Donnie's in that Epstein hot dog water. That's why they're sitting there. That's why they're lying about Barack Obama and other people. That's why they're floating the idea of throwing them in prison. Because they know the rubes like theater and they like locking people up. Again, I must say to all you people, and this Reich, especially Donnie and his people, it might be fun and games. You may all be sadists and enjoy the thought of locking other human beings up for all time because you do not like them. Not because they committed a crime. And you know this as well. You have to be real careful with that attitude, son. Because that'll have you locked up. Either in this life, or the next, or both. You really shouldn't wish that type of ill on people that are innocent. You know you're doing it. You know Donnie's doing it. He's done it over and over. His campaign in 2016 was lock her up. You people are all about that. You love going right to that. Deport them, lock them up forever. Who fucking cares? Adam Schiff, whatever. No due process, no rights. Deport. That's what you people want. And you know it. That standard will be applied to you, son. By the Reich, by the man, or both. I'd be real careful about having that in your heart. Wanting people to be locked up forever simply because you don't like them. There's a lot of people I don't like in this world. Would I use that as a justification? If they didn't commit a crime, whatever. Say, I don't like that person. Lock them in a prison cell for the rest of their life. I just don't like them. Do you know how evil that is, son? Just because Donnie and the Reich are about that, you don't have to be about that. And you don't have to be down with the Reich either. So this little game that you people keep playing where every time Donnie's in hot water or just for pure theatrical reasons, we start discussing, or the Reich and you people start discussing locking up Hillary Clinton, locking up Adam Schiff, locking up Adam Kinzinger, locking up Liz Cheney, locking up Barack Obama. None of those people committed a crime, son. That's the problem with your idea. And I don't see it as a game at all. This is fucking serious, going on a major news network talking about locking up Barack Obama for nothing. Very fucking dangerous. But hey, again, look at the squirrel. Don't look at Epstein and your boy that you have your name on. Okay, this is the flood statistic guy. 2025 is quickly becoming the year of the flood in the United States. So far, 3,358 flash flood warnings have been issued, over 250 more than the next closest year to date. The U.S. has already surpassed its annual average for flash flood reports, with more than double the typical number seen by this point in the year. More than double, you say? That's a big fucking increase. In other words, class, something has changed. The planet has taken a nosedive in the wrong direction, and it's worse now. We're watching it play out daily. Now, the people in charge of this world and in government, they know the planet is not like it was in 1970. They know it's declining rapidly due to mankind and its need for convenience and its greed at the top, the people that run the companies. Everything's synthetic now. Nothing is natural. And as a species, we pollute like a motherfucker. Just from pure industry. Just from them smokestacks going 24 hours a day. And, you know, the 17 trillion cars in America. And the radioactive waste. And I could go on and on and on and on. The coal burning. So many things. We all know it's damaging the planet. All aspects, land, sea, and air. Something has changed. It's gotten worse. It's not good when 6 inches of rain drops in a half hour. There's a reason it's happening. So the people in government know more of this stuff is going to happen. And, you know, well, Donnie doesn't like bad news fucking his groove up. He doesn't want you looking at all those things. I look at them daily, the natural disasters, because that's part of the story. A lot of weird little earthquakes, too, all over the world. But that's normal. Let's continue with this. The Texas floods, which have tragically claimed at least 145 lives, are now the deadliest non-typical cyclone-related flood event since 1976 in the United States. Abnormally high levels of atmospheric moisture are expected to persist over the central and eastern U.S. for the next 2 weeks, so expect more flooding. And there's a chart here. We won't bother with that. This story, don't forget about the Donnie coin, the digital currency that we're all going to be forced into. And I see nothing but more indicators that, yeah, that's where it's going. Donnie takes us further and further into that world. This is from Bloomberg. Unlock Trump meme coin set to boost president's wealth by 100 million. So Donnie's straight grifting on the Donnie coin and other coins. They say it's set to boost his wealth. Well, Donnie's going to want it to boost it even more. And the idea has always been to get us on it. Maybe get the whole world on it, according to the story. So we all know Donnie's greed is never satiated, is never satisfied. He always wants more. So he'll run his grifts and he'll make his money, but that's not going to be good enough. He's going to want the whole world on it. And he'll probably make that happen if he's who I think he is, if he's who I say he is. He'll definitely make that happen. We seem as a country and a society being pushed closer, more into this. Banks are taking it much more seriously now. In other words, they're down with the idea, which I'm very surprised. So Donnie coin eventually is going to be offered to you, and I suggest you turn it down. And yes, it has the number on it. Donnie posted this, some young woman with a snake. I don't fucking know what the hell this is. No one really knew what it was. She's sitting there in this clip, and there's another clip where she's flinging a snake or something. Right here. Donnie posted this. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. The woman holding up the snake, though, I have ideas about that. When I really stopped and thought about it and looked at it for a second, well, I said to myself, well, he is the Antichrist. Maybe it's some type of satanic expression or something. I don't fucking know. Very fucking strange. This is what your president is spending his time doing. Donald Trump just posted a video of former President Obama getting arrested. Anything to distract from the Epstein files, indeed. And I know it's small, but Donnie's sitting there in the Oval Office and Barack is being cuffed and taken. Let me see if I can get it. No, that's as big as I can get it. I can't believe we've already made it to Barack Obama. I expected him to go after others first. This is very dangerous. Again, this is the President of the United States. This is not appropriate. In case you didn't know, Rubes, this is so far over the top, inappropriate type shit to be doing, talking about, presenting, posting about former presidents. Only your guy does shit like this. Because he's a special guy. And not in a good way, son. And I keep telling you, he's a sociopath with a God complex with the maturity of a 4-year-old. That's why you're seeing this video. That's why you're seeing him post it. Because he doesn't understand that it's not appropriate. He's a child. It's so far over the line of appropriate and normal and well-adjusted. Non-sociopath. It's so fucking far over that line. Again, this guy isn't a 6th grader in high school making a funny video. He is the President of the United States. That is fucking horrifying that he posted this video of Barack Obama being cuffed and taken. A convicted felon, by the way, adjudicated rapist, fraud, defamer, tried to overthrow the government, stole 3,000 classified documents. I could go on with more if you'd like, but I won't. And he's the one posting the video of Barack Obama getting taken away in handcuffs. Can you fucking believe it? Dangerous fucking territory we're on. And it says no one is above the law, above the video. Well, Donnie is. Obviously. Oh my God. And this, again. How did Samantha Power make all that money? That's in all caps. I guess Donnie wrote that. And what we have is a Brady Bunch parody with Susan Rice, Samantha Power, Valerie Jarrett, James Comey, James Clapper, John Brennan, Barack Obama, and Ben Hamas Rhodes. Jesus Christ. Who makes these things? Again, this is the president posting this, son. I can't believe we're here. I knew we'd get here. Just openly promoting the idea of arresting all these people. Donnie understands he won the 2016 election, right? So how did Obama cheat him? Oh, for the 2020, Obama took part in that. Is that what we're going with? I can't believe this is America. It's so fucking sad I even have to be on camera talking about this. But I have to remember, it just occurred to me again, I have to remember that there's a huge supernatural element to this. It's the only way it makes sense. Yeah, I can't believe we're at the point where the Führer, the convicted felon, is talking about arresting Barack Obama. Unbelievable. Again, here's another Donnie post. Barack sitting in a prison in the orange jumpsuit. And again, this isn't a random jerk off that makes memes. This is the president of the United States. Posted a fake video of former President Obama being jailed. Here's Donnie saying he knows best with the economy. The Wall Street Journal ran a typically untruthful story today by saying that Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent explained to me that firing Jerome Too Late Powell, the worst Federal Reserve chairman in history, would be bad for the market. Nobody had to explain that to me. I know better than anybody what's good for the market and what's good for the USA. If it weren't for me, the market wouldn't be at record highs right now. It probably would have crashed. It did crash, Donnie, by 4 or 5, 6,000 points. That was because of you. So get your information correct. People don't explain to me, I explain to them. Well, we've already gone through the dance about 4 times where somebody went up to Donnie and said, the billionaires are going to kill you if you don't stop with the tariffs right fucking now. And he backed down. That's why we call him Taco. Because I guarantee those calls have been made. You think I'm joking? I guarantee those calls have been made. We will end him. When billions of dollars are being lost by billionaires, they don't fuck around with that. They will end people for that. Those are the types of whispers that were in Donnie's ear. That's why he backed down all these times. When shit was really getting ugly with the market, now the market's okay. So the tariff grip kicks back in August 1st, so that'll tank it back down again. Donnie and his buddies will make billions. He'll get the phone calls, and he'll back down. So Donnie explains to all of us, according to Donnie. He's back on the Washington Redskins again. Again, any shit he can pull out of his diaper and throw at the wall and hope it sticks. My statement on the Washington Redskins is totally blown up, but only in a very positive way. I may put a restriction on them that if they don't change the name back to the original Washington Redskins and get rid of the ridiculous moniker Washington Commanders, I won't make a deal for them to build a stadium in Washington. You know, for all you rubes and jerk-offs that love to call liberals commies and all that shit, as if you even know what the word means, I've never seen a regime or Reich in America tell more businesses what to do and take straight tribute from them as if they were a communist dictator in Russia or something. Every 5 seconds, he's telling some business how to run it, and if they don't run it that way, let me run the extortion game on you. I've never seen it reminds me of communist dictatorships. The team would be much more valuable and the deal would be more exciting for everyone. No, it'd be more exciting for Donnie to call them Indians again. It's so sad. How's your mortgage doing? How's your rent doing? How's your business doing? How's your kids' college fund doing? This is what Donnie's spending his time on as he's stealing your money. Cleveland should do the same with the Cleveland Indians. The owner of the Cleveland baseball team, Matt Dolan, who is very political, has lost 3 elections in a row because of that ridiculous name change. He lost elections because of the team's name change. What he doesn't understand is that if he changed the name back to the Cleveland Indians, he might actually win an election. So if we start calling the natives Indians again, then the guy will win. Indians are being treated very unfairly. Make Indians great again, MIGA, M-I-G-A. What the fuck have you rubes done again, I must say. Again, using the name change that the Native Americans wanted, by the way. They're in favor of the name change. They don't want to be called Indians anymore. They've made that quite clear. That's why the name change happened. Trying to do something nice for an offended people that Europeans almost extincted. And somehow Satan and Donnie, the Antichrist, they flip it around to, if we don't call them Indians anymore, they're going to get offended. They're being treated unfairly by not calling them Indians. Again, the absurdity of this, and this is what the President of the United States is spending his time on as he's dodging reporters asking him about Epstein. What a fucking nightmare. And it's going to get so much worse. We're at the end here. These data centers, don't forget about that as well. The police state that's being erected by Peter Thiel, with your money, by the way. These data centers that some companies already have. Leon has some. I believe Zuckerberg may have some. And a lot more are going to be built. These are huge monstrosities that create massive amounts of heat. And they need to be cooled by millions of gallons of water, like a fucking nuclear power plant or something. And unlike the rest of you out there that make comments like, oh, the water's not going anywhere, it's just going to be cycled through and put back or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't like that idea of water being cycled through an industrial plant and then put back. Because I have the feeling the water will not be in the same state as it was before you grabbed it. The heat alone will kill every living thing in the water. When it goes through a nuke plant, I imagine it catches a couple rads. So when I hear of major industrial buildings using millions of gallons of water, and people say, don't worry, the water's not going to go anywhere, it's not going to disappear. Oh, well, maybe it'll be cycled back in the environment with all the pollution now that came from the industrial plant that cycled it through. Just a thought. So it's not in the same state, if that's what they're doing, cycling it through, putting it back in the environment or wherever they got it from. I just, to think of any industry that needs millions of gallons of water per day, one location, maybe that industry shouldn't fucking exist. Just a thought I have. The fact that all the nuke plants are near a water source, except for the one I think they tried to make a cooling system using fans. The geniuses. I believe that was in England years ago. And the fan system didn't work. And it melted down. And rats got released into the environment. So these are the type of things we're dealing with. I know everyone thinks that people that build things and scientists are all-knowing and never fuck up. No, they fuck up all the fucking time. Especially when they design and build major industrial complexes that use millions of gallons of water per day to cool things. Things can go wrong. And shit could not get cooled and then they melt down. Now a data center, that's different. I just don't. I'm already hearing about Leon's data center in Tennessee or something. I forget where it is. That's polluting the living fuck out of the community. Plus, you got that draw on water of millions of gallons a day. Why do we need data centers, son? Are you asking yourself that question? What kind of data is going to be in there? Well, your data, son. Surveillance state, where'd you go on Tuesday? How much money did you spend? Because it'll be digital. Everything will be tracked. Once that surveillance state is combined with the digital currency, the cashless, every move you make in life will be known by the Reich and the data center. More and more of these are going to be built. Super AI, Altman and Donnie. We got Grok. We got these other AIs. Donnie's AI will have its own infrastructure, data centers. I'm sorry, Rubes. This all sounds dystopian as fuck to me. And you better wake up, man. Because you're going to wake up in a year or two or 5 or 4 or 3, whatever it is. And we're going to have drones flying around everywhere. Everyone's going to be tracked. You're going to be on digital currency. You're going to have some type of mark or tracker on you, wearable, if you will. You're going to wake up and all that's going to happen overnight. We're already part of the way there. We've already begun the journey. So when I hear drones, artificial intelligence, data centers, Peter Thiel surveillance state, yeah, that sounds like a dystopian nightmare where drones are going to come kill people that do things the Reich doesn't like. When I hear arresting Barack Obama because the president's a pedophile, that's a Reich, son. That's what we're in. We're going to this futuristic world like the science fiction movies, and no, it won't take 20 years. They don't have 20 years. We already have the drones flying around in Ukraine killing Russians. Vlad has his drones killing Ukrainians. These drones can already go into one individual residence and kill one person. So imagine an army of drones controlled by AI. What that could be capable of. We already have the technology. And I was thinking today of Leon's AI and how he's tweaked it. He hasn't just tweaked it to be a Nazi. He tweaked it to be, in his image, like a douchey fucking frat boy who makes bad quips and jokes and uses stupid ebonics, comes off as a douchebag. I came to that realization today as I was thinking about what Leon did to Grok. I'm like, wow, he turned it into a douchebag just like him. Forget the Nazi stuff. Using words like chillin' and stuff like that, trying to make jokes and quips and Leon. None of them funny, all awkward, all cringe. Leon. What I'm trying to say is, I realized how much of Leon's personality he put into that thing. And all the Nazi stuff, that came straight from Leon. You know that, right? Every word of it. So he turned it into a douchebag Nazi. And he wrote in a public comment about how he's trying to find that fine line between Mecha Hitler and, not being woke libtard. In other words, he's acknowledging, yeah, I put the Nazi in. It didn't just happen by itself, son. And I told you they were going to make these AIs more and more in their image. That's the whole point of it. So we've got, let me read the data center information that I was supposed to read an hour ago. This A1 story on Meta's data centers and others' use of water in an age of AI is incredible. So Meta, that's Zuckerberg. The first time he saw the data, Mr. Manganiello said his eyes popped. One data center company was asking for 9 million gallons of water a day, equal to 30,000 households. It is a tremendous amount, he said. So in the future, when there's water shortages and the nuke plants are using, 100 million gallons a day, whatever they use, and the data centers are using 9 million, 10 million, 50 million gallons a day, and enough to provide water to a fucking city. Well, I guess we'll know where all the water is, huh? Because I'm glad they made that comparison, because then it gives you a real idea of how much water is being used. How many droughts are going on? How many water restrictions? How many aquifers are, going dry? How many rivers are going dry in certain areas? But we got plenty of water for, industry. 9 million gallons a day for this one data center. 30,000 households that could provide for. Much more important, by the way. So, I don't know about you. When I hear concentration camps, when I see our own troops on U.S. streets and there's no riots going on, when I see guys with masks and machine guns going around kidnapping people, when I see Nazi salutes by Leon and Donnie, I've seen them both do it now. I don't care if you agree with me, that's irrelevant. When I hear data centers, when I hear tech bros are getting lieutenant colonel in the military, getting that title, getting that rank. When I hear Leon's AI is being allowed to weave through our military computer systems, it's already woven through our government classified information, the information about me and you, all of our government computer systems. They used AI to fire people in mass. That's why they rehire half of them back. When I hear about drones, when I hear about data centers that leak methane, that fucking need 9 million gallons of water. When I hear about Peter Thiel getting millions and millions of euro dollars to create a surveillance state like in China. I see dystopia. And it's already here. Some data centers already exist. There's going to be more. That data is for us to subjugate us. That surveillance state that Pete's building, that's for us. It ain't just for the illegals, son. That access to the Medicaid list to try and find illegals. Illegals don't fucking get Medicaid. The only time they get covered by Medicaid is they go to the emergency room with something serious and they get treated. They bill Medicaid for that. So if they don't get Medicaid, well, whose names are on that list? Not illegals, jerk off. When I hear lists are being made of autistic people, stuff like that, when I hear, health secretaries talk about, I want everyone having a wearable on within 4 years. When I see the top of the right being all about digital currency, cashless. When I hear the right talk about the future of humans in America is screwing in little screws for iPhones like a Vietnamese factory or picking cotton in the fields. Again, people, everything I just said is utterly indisputable. There's no need to debate it. It's all happening. We're watching it happen. So no matter what political persuasion you are, ask yourself, where the fuck is this going? And when you do ask yourself that question, remember the Nazi salute that started it all off. On Inauguration Day. They taken it to that place they always dreamed of taking it. For so many decades, centuries. This is the crew that's going to do it. They are doing it. We're watching it. Again, like I said yesterday, concentration camps, mass men with machine guns kidnapping people, your own troops on your streets. That is normal now. I don't see anyone rioting against it. So it's normal. It's too late. We can't go back. My point is, I don't see how anyone can look at this and not see dystopia. I don't care if you like me, don't like me, agree with me, don't agree with me. Just look at it. Forget what team you're on, son. Forget the R&D thing. Just look at it. Yeah, it's going to that horrible place. And it's obvious. And no, illegal people with brown skin will not be the only people that suffer. Again, how many of you MAGA people lost your business, job, farm, whatever already? And then, of course, when the mark comes around, you cannot take it. You must say no. Just say no to the mark, the digital currency, all of it that's going to be presented to you. And it's obvious. And I'm sure there'll be some type of oath or something involved with that. You must say no. That's the real message of every broadcast. It'd be great if you said no now and took your name off the Reich. But you still have until that last moment when they offer it to you. And it's obvious that's where this is going. I'm sorry. The images are all in place. The artificial intelligence, the image part's taken care of. The currency part's taken care of. The 666 part's taken care of. It's on the currency. I've explained it. I'm not explaining it again. I purposely postponed that again. I knew the currency was sitting there for months. I purposely didn't look at it for that number. I was dreading it because I didn't want to be right. I haven't wanted to be right in 10 years, son. Do you hear me? So I finally look at the currency one day. I say to myself, you got to do it. You can't not look at it. You have to do it. Even though you don't want to. And I did the video and I explained it to you. And it took me about 5 seconds to figure it out. That's how obvious it was. That's what scared me even more. That it was that obvious. They ain't going to write 666 on it, son. Oh, no, they ain't going to be that obvious. But they did write 666, just in a different way. Just like the story says. So it's all there. The coin you will be using, already in existence, already has the 666 on it. The image you will be worshiping, already partially in existence. Altman's working on it, data centers, etc. It's coming. Maybe they'll use Grok, who knows? Already using it for a lot of things. So you got the image, currency, and then what's the mark going to be? Well, again, you have RFK saying he wants everyone wearing a wearable within 4 years. Why 4 years? Why a wearable? What's that going to do for us? Oh, nothing. It'll do a lot for the Reich, though. Maybe that's what the mark will be. Or maybe it'll be the actual microchip in between your thumb and forefinger. That some people already have in their hand right now. Again, already in existence. So it's all there, baby. And that temple part too in Israel, they got it all ready. It's all there. They just waiting for that go-ahead. And that go-ahead's coming real motherfucking soon. So it's all in place to happen. And ain't nothing going to stop it until the end. So when that mark comes around, that's your last moment. That's your last chance. When they come to you, everything's in shambles. You need money. You need help. Oh, we got Donnie coin for you. Don't worry. Don't worry about that dollar crashing thing. We got Donnie coin. We're going to help you out. Put on your wearable. Accept the Donnie coin. Sign this oath right here. Eventually it'll get to if you don't, you die. That's in the story. If you don't take it, you don't worship the image. That whole thing, you die. I'd rather die. Personally. Because when we get to that point where it's mark or die, that will, again, I'm already convinced we're in this story, but when we get to that point, I mean, my God, I'll just be utterly convinced we're in the story. We're in that time. And that it's real. Again, Assassination Day already convinced me. And then when he won, got back in power, that's in the story. Those two things just utterly solidified it for me. But one more time, when we get to that mark moment, that'll just be, you know, utter verification for me. And that will also verify those plagues that happen to the people that take the mark are going to happen. I would not want to have to endure those plagues. And then the second death after. For Donnie shitbags, for a Nazi movement, for Satan, for the Antichrist, for a bunch of greedy cunt billionaires at the top that want to live forever, Peter Thiel preaching, you know, transhumanism. None of it's worth it. So you must say no when the time comes. And I have to be going. I'm very tired. I probably shouldn't even have done this video tonight. And people, as always, if you can help out, I'd really appreciate it. I put a lot of work into this. And it's not fun work either. It's quite depressing to know where this is going. And to want to even have the motivation to continue. It's definitely a mind fuck process. Because I know it to the core of me where this is going. So much of it's come true already that I know people said would never happen. I remember the questions during the first term. If he's Hitler, where are the concentration camps? I said, you know they were separating children down at the border in those camps, right? Now we've got straight up, legitimate concentration camps. One of them in El Salvador that you never leave. One in a swamp full of tents and mosquitoes and heat. So no one can really ask that question genuinely anymore. Well, if he's like Hitler, where's the camps? Well, there's one in Florida. There's one in El Salvador. There's going to be 2 more on some military bases. Where's the authoritarian crackdown with the military? California. Where's the Gestapo and brown shirts? ICE. We there, baby. We're there. You can't really say the Hitler comparisons are crazy anymore. Not to mention all the annexation talk. My God, he wants to annex half the world. But anyway, I digress again. I was trying to end this thing. Again, people, if you'd like to help out, I'm going to put the PayPal at the top of the comment section. I'd appreciate it. And for those of you that have helped out, thank you so much. You've done a lot of good that I can't even fully express. Have a wonderful evening, and until the next episode.